Alright, hey, I told you I was more than a cartoon character. Here I am. And I want to share with you who I am, my story, why I'm here, and really how I know I can really connect with you and help you if you want it. So how did I awaken my heart, again really, to coach me? When I was a kid, I was about 12 or 13, my parents got a divorce. And it was pretty rough, man. I mean, it's not something any kid is just prepared to deal with. I remember the night my dad told me that. It was my dad and mom sitting us down after dinner, which I've noticed when I talk to a lot of people who have survived divorce within their own household. It was always a talk after dinner. Interesting. So yeah, my dad and mom sat us down after dinner. I was still nursing probably a plate of mashed potatoes and green beans, you know. So after dinner, still kind of, my dad sits down, he has a notepad in front of him, a notepad, and I was like, what's going on? And he says, we have something to talk to you guys about. And that never sounds good. When you're a kid, we have something to talk to you about, never sounds good. So he pulls open this little notepad, and I was like, what's that? And then he says, well, I wrote some notes. I wrote some notes down, and I thought, what's going on? Is this bad? Did we do something bad? And he says, no, this is just hard to say. And then he just opens his mouth and says, your mom and I are separating. And I didn't even think about it until right now, but across from me was a window, and I could see my reflection in it with my brother sitting next to me. And I remember him telling us that, and we both kind of did this. What? And that's like burned in my memory still. Wow, that was rough, But, I remember crying my eyes out until I was so tired that I just plopped down on my bed and just, went into a coma, basically. You ever cry until you basically just can't move anymore? That happened. But prior to that happening in my childhood, I began to notice that my mom was just, she was starting to just not slip away, but she was sad. She was depressed. I could just see it in her face. And I noticed this maybe a couple years actually before my dad and mom sat us down that night after dinner. And I noticed this every night that she would make dinner for us, My brother and I would just, it was the 90s, so my brother and I would be watching a Van Damme movie and drawing and, just... Me and my brother never fought. We were always good friends. But when, we were doing our nightly Van Damme drawing-a-thon, I got up and went to the bathroom or something like that, and then I just walked by my mom making dinner, and I just noticed her. I saw her. I saw her face. I saw her eyes. I saw her just almost kind of hunched over, making dinner, just looking like she lost something, maybe herself or her happiness, So I noticed that. So I went pee or whatever, and then I came back and I sat down right in front of her where she was making dinner at this little island where the stove was, and we had a bar stool. I pulled it up, sat down and said, I just looked at my mom and said, Mom, how was your day? And it just came out of me. I didn't think like I needed to sit down and make sure she was okay. I just sat down and I was like, I saw her. I had that empathy, if you will. I saw another human being, who in this case happened to be my own mama, in pain. So I sat down with her and asked her that question, and she kind of just was, just looked up at me like with these eyes. I remember these eyes looking up at me of surprise. That her then, I think I was 9-year-old son son was asking her a question that maybe that her husband should be asking her, or at least some adult. So that went on, our nightly little chats like that just kept going on, how was your day, Mom? And then we would just talk, and our relationship really grew and bonded, and we became really even closer during those times. So the reason why I decided to embark on this epic journey within my own heart to be a men's mentor is because of that night. And I was recalling it as I kept kind of researching ideas how to be a mentor online and put my website together and my messaging and so forth. I was just researching, as I was researching those ideas, I kept thinking to myself, how did I really get here to do this and to build this and to create content and to just, connect with like-minded men? And it was that night. It was that night when I was a kid that I found, what's the word? My heart as a little guy. I embraced my heart and what was going on in my heart and what my heart was noticing about another human being. And that's why I'm here right now. As a kid, I noticed that I always had this great, amazing ability to empathize with people, to notice people, to see people. And I didn't shy away from it, and I still don't. That's why I'm a mentor. That's why I'm a coach. That's why I'm here to help you. And I want to help you. So as men and as individuals, I think our greatest gift we have to the world is right in here, is our own hearts. And our own heart's authenticity and our own heart's vulnerability. And when you drop out of that school of false masculinity, when you just drop out of that completely and drop back into this, you just begin to really feel and notice that you are enough. It's okay to have all these feelings as a man, all these emotions, all these wonderful things that make you human. It's good. It makes you strong. It makes you awesome. So if you drop into this, whatever's out there, you can face it, you can tackle it with your authentic heart. Right. Party on.